What's up, y'all? It's your girl L Complex. I know I need a haircut. Shut up. So, what I want to share with y'all is something that I have been working on, and I'm gonna get straight into it. Um, Something I've been writing. I just started writing on the subject matter of come healed. So, what I have noticed over the past few years is that a lot of people are saying come healed or don't come at all, right? So, I wanted to share my thoughts on that. So, what I found to be at the forefront of my mind is what happened to the no matter what, through thick and thin, I'm going to stand by you because I love you. And we were made for each other. What happened to that? When did this type of thinking begin to equate with struggle love? Now, people want you to come heal. There's no more stand together until we get it together. For many reasons, I understand this. However, I'm finding that a lot of people who are requiring for their potential significant others to come heal, not heal themselves. They're not healed themselves, but they're making that a requirement for future potential partners or for their dating partners, right? And I feel like they take some time to sit down and view some YouTube videos where they learn a few improperly used or used out of context and overused psychological terms, and now they feel as though they have ascended to a higher level. Like, don't get me wrong, like elevation is great. Knowing that you want something different for yourself and something positive for yourself is awesome. But until you do the work deeply and consistently, who are you to require that of someone else? Who are you to require that of someone else as if you have even begun that healing journey? You just know that that's something that you want, and that's okay. But when you start making requirements, oh, you gotta come healed or don't come healed at all, you still toxic as fuck though, right? Um, the only flaw that I have with that way of thinking is that while healing can bring ascension, it never stops. Self improvement never stops. Hell, it takes time just to unlearn behaviors that you may or may not know that you've been carrying since childhood. So, what happens when your person slips backwards or does something that you don't like? You know, what I am seeing is that a lot of people are gone at first sight. They're gone at the first sight of something happening. And I'm not talking about behaviors that are a detriment to your health and safety. Like, you should absolutely cut that short if you're experiencing that. What I'm talking about is how your partner reacts when things get stressful, when money gets tight, when obstacles come forth, or even when they get frustrated during disagreements. There is no room for error. And I'm finding that a lot of people are constantly looking for better elsewhere at the drop of a dime. They're ready to water the grass somewhere else instead of watering where it can be greener over simple struggles. I grew up seeing different variations of relationships. Um, I've I was raised by parents that, stayed in relationships because they had to. They stayed in relationships out of necessity or because it was the right thing to do. I've seen, you know, the relationships where they're not perfect, but they're perfect for me and I'm perfect for them. I've experienced relationships like that. I have also, you know, came into now, what's happening now is, oh, I don't, I don't like the way I don't like the way they think about this, so I'm gone, you know? instead of trying to really get down to the root of things. Like, people want now a perfect person. People want a perfect person that checks all of the boxes that these social media influencers say they should check, or what they seen on social media say they should check, plus their own that may be realistic or unrealistic. They want a perfect person. And it's like, at the first sight of things not being perfect, they leave. And another thing that I'm noticing also is that people check out mentally when you are going through shit. You know, pay attention to people's facial expressions when you're talking about what you're going through. Pay attention to their tone of voice. Pay attention to when they call you. You know, if they're sounding all upbeat and excited and ready to tell you about what they have going on and everything, and you start expressing to them, oh man, listen, I'm going through this or I'm going through that right now. You know, when you start to open up and you start to express your fears, your concerns, your worries, your doubts, and they become short with you, or they seem like they're not paying attention, or even, you know, all of a sudden they get off the phone with you, or they'll have an attitude with you. You know, you're looking weak to them by expressing like, hey, I'm going through it right now, and I'm not myself right now. And that's, instead of people trying to really sit down and be like, okay, you know what, my person, my girlfriend, my boyfriend, whatever, they are going through something right now, and let's sit down and talk about this and come up with a plan. Let's see what's going on. Let me show a little bit of tenderness. Let me show a little bit of nurturing. And for those of you who do that, this is not towards you, this is not for you if you do that. But for those of you who don't show that tenderness, that consideration, that nurturing, you know, then the shoe fits. But they are immediately in their mind saying to themselves, I gotta replace this motherfucker. You know, like, they you know, this down moment that they having, we can't have this. This is negativity. You know, that's how they look at it. So y'all drop down and let me know what you think about this come healed or not at all thing that everybody has been on for a few years, I would say. I think a lot of people are unrealistic about it because they are not doing the work themselves, and I think they have unrealistic expectations of relationships, and they're not willing. They want the perfect person. They're chasing a person without any flaws, that's always happy, that's always upbeat, that's always positive. And there are people that's out there like that, you know. And most of the time, those people that are like that, they're either going through a lot, they're masking, you know, what's bothering them, or they've put in a lot of work to learn a new way of deflection to where it's presentable, it's healthy. You know, and you have a small percentage of some people that are born that way. You know, they just happy-go-lucky. You know, even if they have a down moment, it doesn't last for long for them. The sun is back out shining. You have people that come on this earth like that. But I just feel as though relationships are no longer a safe space, depending on your person, with this come healed, you know, mindset. Now, does that mean you should go into a relationship all toxic and crazy? No, that's not what that means. You should put your best foot forward, but also give that person grace for where they are in their healing journey, and if they have some moments in their journey where they resort back to some things that they may have stopped doing, or have a willingness to get to know your person deeper when they open up about what it is that's bothering them when they really wasn't opening up before. So just something that's on my mind. Y'all could agree, y'all could disagree, y'all could, add to it or say what you think about it. But that's my take on it, y'all. Until next time.